I keep seeing these clips from this podcast, whatever podcast. And I guess they talk about dating and men and women and stuff. We got this clip posted by our friends over at Clown World. I have no idea who Clown World is. I keep saying our friends over there, but I don't know them. I don't want anyone to think that I know that. I just see them on Twitter and I followed them. And they post these videos that are actually pretty funny. In this video, at the whatever podcast, the host is asking these women, are you a feminist? Do you believe in equality of the sexes? And they're like, yes, of course. But then the men have to do everything for us. Okay, which is not equality. So let's break it down. And let me explain to you why this woman is wrong. But I tell you, the problem with this video, and I feel bad for this woman, is that, she has no idea what she's saying. And she lacks the cognitive capabilities to explain her ideas to the rest of us. I feel bad for her because she just doesn't come off as understanding anything that she's talking about. And it's kind of mind-numbing. But now you get to listen to it, too. Here we go. You ready?
Would you describe yourself as a feminist?
Yes.
Do you believe in gender equality?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so how do you reconcile believing in gender equality, but also holding men to their traditional gender roles of paying for the first date?
Well, I'm just saying that's my personal view. A woman being a feminist is just doing whatever you want to do and not being bashed by society for that. And obviously, standing up for women's rights and stuff like that. But I don't know, I just feel like this question's really dense.
My question is, if you believe in gender equality, don't you think you ought to split the bill on the first date?
No, because my main concern with gender equality is through, yes, in society, fixing that, and through, the system. But, yeah, I don't, oh my God.
Oh, no. Lady, let me play that again.
Split the bill on the first date?
Isn't too good.
No, because my main concern with gender equality is through, yes, in society, fixing that, and through...
Yes, in society, fixing that. Lady, what are you talking about? Okay, fine. Fair point. This may be out of context, and there may be something from the prior conversation or earlier in the conversation we didn't hear.
The system, but...
The system?
Yeah, I don't... Oh, my God.
Yes, okay. Now, look, to be fair, I don't think out of context clips do anybody justice, but I thought this was a really good launching point to talk about, why exactly we have gender roles and feminism and contradictions. And I'll come up by saying it, too many women just say they're feminists because the TV says they should say they're feminists. They grow up in a society where it's you believe in women's rights, therefore you're a feminist. And yes, sure, but there's different waves of feminism. So how about we talk about this? If you believe in equality between the sexes, the men should not be paying for the first date. If you think they should, you do not believe in equality because a man has to work to generate resources to then provide you with something, and you are expecting something from them that you will not give in return. Literally, not equality, imbalance. But I got no problem whatsoever with ladies who want guys to pay on the first date or who want to pay on the first date. Literally don't care. Everybody's different. They got different views. But this is an opportunity to clarify. First, I'm going to give this lady the benefit of the doubt. She doesn't seem like a bad person. I got no beef with her. I'm trying to be mean or anything like that. I think what she's trying to say is her concerns with feminism, and I hope I'm translating this for her, okay? Her concerns with feminism, equality, have more to do with, can a woman hold a position in office? Does she have the freedom to choose? Now, when it comes to dating and other things like that, she prefers a guy who takes the traditional approach. That's how I'd explain it. Because I think that's what she's trying to say. But, you can't take somebody who, not everybody has the ability to articulate their thoughts in a cohesive manner, nor the verbose lexicon, to explain their ideas to the finest point. I think she's saying, and I respect her opinion, that women should be able to be politicians, CEOs, work in companies, own bank accounts, have credit cards, all of that stuff that feminists have fought for a long time. And that if they want to, in a dating situation, have the man take the lead, they're allowed to do it. I actually find that kind of a good thing, right? Have women who get to choose, and then women who want a more traditional man, have a more traditional man. I kind of feel like that's what she's saying. But gender roles, why do they exist? Because, well, we'll start very simply. Because men have more bone density, men have more muscle mass, more collagen in their skin. They have a higher center of gravity. They tend to run faster. They tend to have greater grip strength, like et cetera, et cetera. And why does that matter? This all emerges if you read basic evolutionary biology. And I am not an evolutionary biologist, and probably a lot of this is wrong. But I read several academic articles on the matter. And the reason you end up with a combination of women not in the workplace and men paying for the first date is the same thing. So it may be nice to be like women should be presidents, but also men should be the ones providing the resources. There's a bit of an evolutionary contradiction in that. I think it can work out that way. I think the issue is individuals have a right to choose. Doesn't matter. Can you do the job? Then you can do the job, right? I think that's the most efficient way to do things. And the reason why we don't have the most efficient way of doing things, or didn't for a long time, is that, well, imagine you got a small tribe of humans, 50 of them, 25 men, 25 women. If 24 women die, yeah, you're done. Your society ends right there. Because in 9 months, you have one baby. In 9 or 10 months later, you might have another baby. And that one woman is doing a lot of work making more humans. So she can maybe, you can have her crank out babies every 9 months. But that's incredibly strenuous, and women, they do die in childbirth. It is tough. It's difficult. So, if 24 of the men die, the women can pick up the slack for the men, not to the same degree like hunting and things like that, but for the most part they could, because they're humans, and humans are very capable people. This results in gender traditions where the men don't strike women, protect them. Women don't go out and engage in conflict, war, and fighting, because if the women die, your whole civilization collapses. Then, as you start entering the urban era, as cities begin expanding, you get to the point where they're like, look, first it was the guy going into, he said, I'm going to go talk with the other tribe and try and figure out this food thing, because if you go, they might kidnap or kill you or take you, because women are extremely important and valuable for a civilization's ability to have children. So the men would go. The men are then doing all the negotiating. And I'm not saying it's a good thing or a right thing. I'm saying that's just what happened. You end up in a city, and then in the future, you have politics, politicians, banking, finance. Everything is just men doing it, and it's not considered a task for women. Of course, this creates problems as social society begins changing, and bears and wolves and war start leaving our shores and our cities. Now you have women who have substantially less to fear, and with a massive population explosion, less of a requirement for protecting those women from dangers, though they still exist and they're humans. And now women have guns and can go out and do whatever they want. So if they want to go run a bank or get a credit card, live by themselves, they can. Thus, the modern era. But I got to tell you, man, not to be mean to this here lady, too many feminists have no idea what they're talking about. And they're saying exactly what they heard on the TV. And the TV says girl power, so they say girl power. But I have to wonder, how many women actually want a strong man to take the lead, to do the work, to guide, etc.? Because what I talked about with the evolution of gender roles also creates a genetic component in humans, human tendencies and human instinct and drives and desires. That's probably why you see when you look at these documentaries or these scientific studies, men are object-oriented and women are subject-oriented. Women are social. Women like raising kids more than men on average. Granted, men like kids too. I'm not saying it's absolute. I'm saying it's somewhat bimodal. Men like doing backflips. Women like taking pictures of themselves doing backflips. Not always, not every woman. I'm not saying absolutely. I'm saying tendencies. You'll notice that when a man takes a picture of something, he takes a picture of something. A woman puts herself in the picture and takes a selfie along with it. Tendency. Not always, not every single woman. But that, I think, it arises from how humans came to be. Women care more about people than men do, I think. I really do believe it. I think men care more about their people, their families and their friends in the immediate, but about succeeding in some regard. Because the success led to the success of your family and your community. So what I mean to say is women care about the deeply personal when it comes to humans, and men are concerned with the functionality of humans. Men, of course, want humans to thrive and survive, and they care about them. Women, of course, care about the functioning of humans as well. But I'm saying it's like 51 to 49 and vice versa. Women tend to be hey, who are you? What's your name? What do you do? I want to hear about you. And men tend to be, who are you? What's your name? And what do you do? Can your job help the community? You get the point? I think you get the point. So, as for this lady, I don't think she's wrong. She's not saying that she wants to have her cake and eat it too. Women should be able to hold jobs and be in leadership positions and have finances. And then if they want to date a guy and they want to have the guy pay, then, fine. So be it. They can do that if they want. Just depends on whether or not men are willing to bend the knee to the ladies, quite literally, and offer them what the ladies like. I don't know, man. I do think there is going to be a clash, and we're seeing it now, between how humans evolved and how society is rapidly evolving faster. It's almost like if we're in a simulation, the experiment is evolution versus intelligence and what that leads to. There's a lot more to talk about there, but I will leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes. Stick around, and I'll see you all shortly.